Today, I'm going to be rating your hottest filmmaking takes. What's up, y'all? My name is Eli Clark. I am a sports videographer and creative at App State, and today I'm going to be reading and just rating your hottest filmmaking takes and opinions. Now, we got some pretty good ones here. I'm going to just pick a few to go over, but I want to give credit to Peter Sarellas for this video idea. I saw him do it and thought it was a great idea, so all the credit for the idea goes out to him. So let's go ahead and hop right into these takes. So the first one we have is that more effects / faster cuts does not equal better. And I'm not sure how hot of a take this is. This is actually very true. Usually with like faster mixtapes and stuff, you want to have faster cuts, especially if the video is going on Instagram, because that just engagement is higher when the cuts are faster, there's more effects and stuff like that. So if you're posting for social for Instagram, I would say that you do want it to be a little bit faster, but it also just depends on the vibe, the content you're going for, because you can also make I hate using the word, but a more like cinematic video where everything's slower and you just don't, the cuts aren't as fast, there's slower music, stuff like that. So overall, I would say this take actually isn't very hot. I would rate it maybe a 3 because I think that's very true. More effects and faster cuts does not always equal a better video. Now for the second take, this is a very interesting one. We have mic attachments are useless. Most cameras pick up pretty decent audio and their sound effects. Now this one is pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie. Mic attachments, I think, in my opinion, are very important, especially like if you're going to go out and buy like, I don't know, a $20 mic, maybe that's not important. Your camera, like the audio in your camera can pick up audio just as good as one of those mics could. But if you want to go out and get a good shotgun mic or like even a mic like this that you just can attach to your shirt, or a good shotgun mic that goes on top of your camera, those mics will give you a lot better audio quality than what comes out of your camera. So I would say this is a pretty hot take. I would rate this one probably an 8 because I think mics are very important, and it's a thing that a lot of filmmakers overlook in their videos, which is audio, and audio can make or break your video. It's half of the video. Think about it. You watch the video and you listen to the video. It's 50-50. Audio is 50% of your video. So yes, hot take. I would say this is about an 8 out of 10. The third take that we have is an editing take. I like this one. It says, when DaVinci implements a reliable AI fill, Adobe products will be obsolete in video. So if you don't understand like kind of what that means, basically saying like AI generated fill and content aware fill and stuff like that. Adobe and After Effects has a really good content aware fill. You can throw it into Photoshop, content aware fill it, and it's elite. But in DaVinci Resolve, you don't have a really good content aware fill option. So he's saying if DaVinci Resolve can implement that, then Adobe products will just be kind of obsolete, like they won't be a thing anymore. And I think this is actually a pretty hot take. For me personally, I use After Effects in most of my videos because I think After Effects is just a lot more intuitive and advanced than the Fusion page in DaVinci, but I also haven't messed with Fusion too much. I don't know that it would be obsolete, but it would definitely help those of us that use DaVinci. If y'all don't know, I do use DaVinci now. I switched over from Premiere a few months ago, and I really love it, but as far as After Effects and like VFX and all that goes, I do all of that still in After Effects because, like he said, the AI generated fill, all of that, so much easier and just better in After Effects, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. I think this is a pretty hot take. I don't know that Adobe products would be obsolete, so I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. The next takes that we have is that the 180 shutter speed rule is overrated. Now, for those of you that don't know what the 180 shutter speed rule is, basically whatever frame rate you're shooting in, you want to have your shutter speed doubled or at 180 degrees so that you have a natural motion blur. So like right now I'm shooting at 24 frames per second and I'm shooting at 1/50 shutter speed, so you can see my hand has this natural motion blur. But if you over crank it, then your hand will, like my hand, you wouldn't see any motion blur. And I think that's actually kind of good when you're shooting sports, because when you slow it down, you don't have as much motion blur, and sports are obviously really fast paced. But if you're shooting like a documentary movie type thing, then I think you definitely do want to stick to the 180 shutter rule for the most part. But I can see where you're coming from, where it's overrated. There are times definitely to not use it, and there's times I over crank or even under crank if you want that slow shutter effect. So I don't know if it's overrated, but I would say it's properly rated. So I give this take a 5 out of 10. The next take that we have is that Canon colors are low-key better than Sony. Now this one, I'm just gonna tell you I disagree with, but I can see where you're coming from. A lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but I feel like people are kind of 50-50 on Canon and Sony colors, because I think Sony's personally better to color grade. I've color graded a Canon, Sony, Blackmagic. I've color graded basically every kind of gamut that you can, and I enjoy color grading Sony colors a lot more than any other camera. Maybe that's just because I'm more comfortable with Sony because I shoot on Sony, but Canon colors, I don't know. I mean, they're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad, but I just enjoy color grading Sony colors, and I like how Sony colors look. And shameless plug, if you want your videos to look like these videos that you are seeing in this video, I do have a LUT pack, and the link will be in the description if you want to go pick that up. It's for Sony. Sorry for my Canon people, but yeah, I would say this is not too hot of a take. I give it about a 5 out of 10. For the last take, we have, guys, y'all need to stop using auto white balance. Please, I'm begging you. This is not hot at all. Please do not use auto white balance if you're shooting video or photo, honestly. For the most part, just keep your white balance at one setting. Whether you're outside, set it, or indoors, set it. And if you're indoors, you should be able to figure out what white balance you shoot every time you're in that facility. So like when I'm shooting App State basketball games, I have a set white balance that I will shoot at every time I go in there. But if you shoot auto white balance, your video is going to be changing white balance throughout the video. So when you color grade it, it's going to look really wonky and really weird. So if you still use auto white balance for some reason in your videos, please stop shooting auto white balance and switch over to manual white balance. Set your white balance before you start shooting, and then you can correct it in post later. You don't have to get it perfect in camera, but the closer you get, the easier it will make it for you in post. So this is not a hot take at all. A 1 out of 10 maybe, maybe even a 0 out of 10, but it is really good advice. So that is all I have for the hot takes in this video. I posted on my Instagram for y'all to go comment these, so I appreciate everybody that responded. And if you want to be featured in the next video or something like this, make sure you go follow me on Instagram. I will have it linked in the description. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you on the next video.